Hello there, Internet. Thank you so much for joining me in this other press workout. I don't do this one every week. I typically only do it when I have my Fridays off with the long weekend and kind of throw in an extra press session. Sorry, I forgot what the word was for a second. This is my secondary press day, I guess. So here's the second time around that I'm using my Nemesis bar. It didn't feel any easier and I didn't really progress on it, but what can you really expect in 2 sessions? Still liking how it feels, still feeling like there's a lot of potential for it to have some carryover to my regular overhead press because it feels much harder. But yeah, I didn't really make much progression, and if anything, I might have even regressed. That's a scary word, but it is what it is. I also did the Nemesis lying bench press after this. Random threw in my ring pull-ups. And what else? Oh, I did my Viking press supersetted with lateral raises today, and just some random pec fly stuff, as well as a random video at the end of Luna in her house, just because I felt like, well, this video is really, really short. Well, not really, really short. That's kind of an exaggeration, but it's certainly not as long as some of my other videos by 4 minutes. But whatever. Just chugging along through the week, hitting all my sessions the way I want to, maybe even a little bit better than expected. But I think that I might want to change some of my accessory upper body movements. Obviously I love the main movements. I love that my Nemesis press kind of is secondary to the overhead press. Obviously I love the overhead press. And I'm not talking about any of my back exercises, but for my other press movements, I don't really know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to keep doing the Nemesis press like this. I might just want to keep sticking to it for the overhead variation, just because I have to rely on my mom as a spotter. And I wake up naturally really early, so lots of times it's just not feasible for her to spot me, because if I get up at 5 in the morning or whatever on a Saturday, because I naturally wake up at that time, I'm not going to just dick around for a million years waiting 3 hours for mom to be up to spot me just so I can get in 3 good sets of this movement. So it's just I don't know, I want it to just be, like I said, a little bit more realistic with how it's going to actually fit in timing wise. So I think it's just, I might need some better chest movements. And on my other day, my standard overhead press day, which I may upload in a few days or whatever down the road. And if you've seen it before, I typically will do the incline dumbbell press. I also don't know if I want to keep that in the mix, or if I want to improve how I do it, because I think that I don't do it that great. And I mentioned in a video once, it does feel like one of my arms, my left side kind of has a mind of its own when I'm doing incline press for whatever reason. Actually, I guess that's interesting to note. That arm, when I'm doing the incline press, my left arm just sort of has a weird path and does whatever the hell it wants. And it's I have no control over it. And it's not like that when I do my regular straight bar military press. It is like that, however, when I am doing the Nemesis press. And what I mentioned in the video the first time I used that barbell was, what I noticed is that I really, really had to force my stabilizers to work or things would go wonky. So that's why I think it's going to help that issue, because it's more forcing me, and still sometimes it goes wherever it wants or whatever. But I think it helps better build the stabilizing muscles, or keeps them active, strengthened, and that sort of thing. So that's why I think it's going to help me. But it's not an issue with everything that I do. It's not an issue. My arm doesn't go wonky when I'm doing Viking press. And it's not like it hurts. It just goes weird. Which, I mean, I guess whatever, potentially down the road could end up hurting. It hasn't yet. I'd like to note that I know that sometimes things are tight, off, wonky, or weird. Nothing I do hurts. I've mentioned that before. And lots of times it seems like there's fear mongering. You're going to hurt yourself, this, and this. You're hurting yourself if you do this. You're hurting yourself. It's I think I know. I have a pretty good understanding of my body at this point. After so many years, a couple decades of lifting, I would think that if I was going to hurt myself doing these things, I probably would have already hurt myself doing these things. So I think it's just something you kind of learn. The longer that you train, you really, really start to understand when to listen to your body, and, when to push harder, when to back off, when something feels really off, or when something is just feeling hard and you need to push through it. Like there's a big difference of, whoa, this feels wonky, or whoa, this is hard and I need to, suck it up. Obviously, and my arm is just like randomly doing its own thing. That's not like, oh, this is great, tough it out. This is how it should be. Obviously, it's a different thing, but I don't feel like, oh shit, I'm in so much pain from this. It's just, damn, that's annoying. I wish it would stop doing that. But that's what it is. So when I'm doing like the incline press, I notice that it happens, and so I was just thinking maybe I could do like throw in a one arm dumbbell press at some point. And I forgot, and usually in this session I do one arm standing dumbbell press too. That's another thing I forgot. Just like more one arm dumbbell press movements, whether it be chest or shoulder variation, I think would be important, because like I said, obviously one side does its own thing, and I think that if I don't work more on doing one arm exercises, then it will reduce some of the potential in my overhead press, because it will mean that one arm is carrying more of the work, one arm is working harder, and then so in those situations, when you grind them out, you're less able to grind out those really, really tough reps if both and everything, I guess, is not working in synergy, especially if one arm is just kind of like being an asshole all the time. So it's just very, very important when you're grinding things out. But yeah, as I was saying, like a lot of people saying, do this, don't do that, it's going to hurt yourself. I'm very, very lucky that I have remained injury free since I was 15 years old. I'm just lucky. I can't say that since I was 15 years old, I knew exactly what I was doing and I've done everything perfectly throughout that point. It's certainly not the case. Certainly did have ugly ass form many years ago, but I was lucky in that sense that those things didn't hurt me. But now I definitely think it's not a fluke. It's just safe lifting practices, knowing what's good or not good for my body. Like when people are saying this is going to hurt you, it's like, I know, I'm pretty confident that it's not. Because if I had even the smallest thought in my mind that it would, I would immediately stop doing it. And you really do start to figure those things out. You really start to kind of trust yourself and figure out the best exercises for you, and how to push through things safely and with control. So anyways, I don't think there's too much else in this video except for the random Luna clip that I threw at the end. I also don't think I'm going to keep this exercise in. It was just a random thing because I decided whatever. I guess I have some time. It was probably junk volume, I will admit. I'm not a big fan of junk volume. I try to avoid it, but sometimes that excessive little bug that lives in my mind wants me to do a little bit more. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be a staple or whatever. I know that some people love the pec fly. I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm definitely going to take into consideration some other single press movements. And thanks for watching this boring video, everybody. Bye.
What are you doing in there? It's not bedtime. Come out, Luna. Come on out. You're not gonna come out?